Good morning, everyone. 8:29. I'm a minute early today. I want to share with you the continued reading from this book, The Self-Reliant Entrepreneur. It's Monday, by the way. You're like, what? Some people are like, what day is it? I lost track. But it is Monday, and I want to get you launched and started for this week as we navigate through this pandemic. I'm going to read from that book. I'm going to dive into this poem that's floating around that says it was written in 1869. I did a little bit more research. Really, it doesn't matter. The poem is amazing, and I'm going to share it with you today. I'm going to read that. And then later this evening, I'm going to talk to you about what's happening today. And then I'm going to talk to you about later this evening what I'm doing. I have something special prepared this evening for small business owners and even personal finance. I'm going to get into that and what I'm doing and what I'm going to share with you, because I want you to dial in. I don't want you to just look at the news. I want you to dial in. I want you to dial into your own situation, your own reality. Do your own research. Become an activist in your own life, your finances, your health, your family. Build your relationships. Let's get into it today. I ask you to follow this page. This is Austin J. Haynes' page. This is what I'm going to do to engage. I've moved away from my personal page. I'm going to be doing more on this page because the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to separate my personal a little bit more than the inspirational stuff that I do, because I want to invite everyone who follows the inspirational things that I put up there to come here and do it here. And then my personal page, I'll be able to make that more personal in nature and less public shares. So that's what we're doing. So this is Austin. It's Meet Me in the Morning. It's Monday, April the 6th. By the way, tomorrow is World Health Day. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's jump into The Self-Reliant Entrepreneur, written by John Jantsch. This is all his information. I interject my own personal reflections. And if you're just wondering like what day it is Monday. We're navigating through a pandemic. It's dynamic in nature. We're dialing in. I'm one option here to bring you value, to bring you inspiration in the middle of it, to call you to action, different actions, not just same old, same old. And today we're going to be talking about darkness and light. This book grabs an excerpt from the Transcendentalist period in the 1800s. It's amazingly, it's ironic how applicable it is. And then John, the author, gives a reflection. Today is really, really interesting. I think you're going to like it. Let me start out. April 6th, darkness and light. But there is no person in whom humor and love, like mountain peaks, soar to such rapt height as to receive the irradiations of the upper skies. There is no such person in whom humor and love are developed in that high form called genius. No such person can exist without also possessing, as the indispensable complement of these, a great deep intellect, which drops down into the universe like a plummet. Or love and humor are only the eyes through which such an intellect views this world. The great beauty in such a mind is but the product of its strength. Now that takes some time to digest. Good morning, Carrie. It takes some time to digest what I just read, because you got to remember, this was written in the Old English. It was when we were coming out of our separation from Britain in that first 100 years, and these writers were adapting their own style of writing. And that's what we're going to talk about here. John says, many of the writers during the Transcendentalist period were searching for a writing style that was no longer seen as some derivation, am I saying that right? Derivation of a British literature. Less than 100 years removed from the American Revolution, they sought to define an American style, and in doing so, were roundly criticized for the risks they took. Think about your own journey. When you go out to do something, you're pioneering, and I always say, as long as you're in your heart, if you're coming from your heart, who cares what people think? I mean, because I trust the heart intelligence. You should care less about what people think if you're coming from your heart. So he goes on to say, if you wear a mask to hide your true genius, I want you to get this. You got to hear this. If you wear a mask, talk about the irony in that, to hide your true genius, to disguise the profound truths you must tell, to shield the parts you are not comfortable with, you will give us only a portion of your gift. The world must know your darkness in order to appreciate your light. I got to read that again because it's just so applicable. If you wear a mask to hide your true genius, to disguise the profound truths you must tell, to shield the parts you are not yet comfortable with, you will give us only a portion of your gift. The world must know your darkness in order to appreciate your light. What mask are you hiding behind? You, yes, you. What mask are you hiding behind? That's a question for you today. We must share the different parts of our story. I've been pretty open and vulnerable on here with my story. There's more, but I share from the heart, and I want to talk to you about this poem. And by the way, I think it's ironic that he says the masks because, you know, the masks are so relevant. But let's talk about this poem. Have you seen this poem from 1869 that's floating around? And it's, I don't think anybody really knows where the poem is. Oprah's claiming a woman in Wisconsin wrote it. Her name's Kathleen O'Mara. And then there's a woman from 1869. Her name's Kitty O'Mara. And she goes under the, she was a writer in the 1800s under the, and her real name was Grace Ramsey, and she wrote under Kitty O'Mara. And then it turns out that this poem that was claimed to be written in 1869 was actually adapted from an Italian writer who, her name was Irene Vella, whose immune depressed husband had been ill during this period. So here's the point. It doesn't matter where the poem was taken from, but know that it was written many years ago, over 100 years ago, when they were dealing with similar situations. It was republished again in 1869, and it just goes to show you the cyclical nature of life. And I'm going to read it to you. If you haven't read it, or you haven't seen it, here it is. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games. I should say, and sang karaoke, but and learned new ways of being, and were still, and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new visions and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully. As they healed, and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed. It's hard to imagine that that was written that many years ago. And I'm just looking at the poem from Irene Vella. Either way, it doesn't matter the origin of the poem. It's powerful. And I want you to grab this today. It's Monday. What do you most need today? What do you most need to do? And then tonight, I just want you to join me because we're going to have a special interview with an accountant who is helping businesses. His goal is to help 100 local businesses, but they have the ability to help businesses get the stimulus they need, make financial decisions that can save businesses. So this is really important. You can share this. And then if you're looking at personal finance, I want to give you an opportunity. Most of you know, if you've been following, I've linked up with Laura Langmeyer, and she has a program called Financial First Aid Kit. And I've been sharing that. That there is an investment for that. It's a $77 investment. It's a variation of a $500 course that she sells. It's an online video course. It's her talking about COVID-19, talking about what you can do financially that's in your best interest right now, because I want you to just be dialing into what's happening, because right now it's really undetermined what lay ahead. And many people can speculate. We can think we know. We can think this is going to pass. People are experiencing all different things right now. What I just want you to do is dial into what's in your best interest and what's in your best interest for your family, for your finances. And so this is one option that you can dial into. And if you're a small business or you know a small business, join me later tonight. I'm going to have a gentleman on here. He's an accountant. He wants to save local businesses as well as businesses all across the United States. This is only for the United States, but there's ways where we can get the stimulus to you. We can maybe come up with a plan to help you navigate through this tough time. And he's already worked with big businesses that have accountants on staff. But many of those accountants, they don't know how to navigate through because everything is so dynamic right now. It's not like you can go to a textbook and figure out what you need to do. You need to be dialed into what's happening right now. And today, as we go into today, there's going to be more things happening. There's going to be more news. There's going to be more things coming down the pipeline. And we just want you to dial into that. And you can join me later today as well. I just want to be here. I want to be a source for you. I want to be a resource for you. I want to be a voice for you. And even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, if it provokes an action in you that is in your best interest, that's opposite of what I say, that's good too, because you're being conscious, you're dialing in, and that's what's important. So this is Austin. This is Meet Me in the Morning. So if you like this, follow the page. I'll have more for you tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is In One Word, April 7th. It includes a writing from Lydia Marie Child. And by the way, just a footnote here. The excerpt that I read was from Herman Melville, Hawthorne and His Mosses. That was written in 1850. So if you're just joining, you can go back and hear what that was. That's who that's from. And the book is Self-Reliant Entrepreneur by John Janst. And I'll share the link for the poem if you haven't seen the poem yet. It's floating all over the internet. The origin is uncertain, but nevertheless, the message is clear. God bless you guys. I love you. You can always connect with me if you want. Have an outstanding Monday.